Money, financial independence in your 30s is very key. Because when you're in your 30s, you don't want to be relying on your parents. You don't want to be relying on, you don't want to be a charity case. You don't want to be having to rely on anybody for funds. Right, hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing great and feeling good. If you haven't watched my previous video, please go and watch it so you can understand what I'm doing on the channel for the rest of the year. Okay, if you're new here, you're welcome, and if you're a regular subscriber, you're absolutely welcome as well. So in today's video, I want to be talking about obviously you've seen the topic already before clicking on the video, but things that I feel every lady should know or prepare for or bear in mind when in their 30s. It was my birthday actually, on the 3rd of March, so I clocked a milestone. Yeah. I clocked a milestone age, and I felt like, oh, I mean, I'm now my age, even though I'm 25 forever, you know. I'm 25 forever in my mind and my back of my head, but I just felt, oh, it'd be nice to reflect, you know, and talk about the things that I would consider that every young lady in her 30s should bear in mind or should prepare for. Actually, even open to people in their 20s, but it'd be good to, you know, put in the 30s because that's where I'm at, and that's what I'm experiencing. Okay, let's have a chat about it. Now, in my 30s, I've found that the need for me to balance everything has become is required more than ever. Balancing my life with my family, my nuclear family, my extended family, my friends, my work, my business. That whole thing about balance in general, I feel, is a big deal when you're in your 30s. So you need to start figuring out, okay, maybe you're in your 30s or you're going into your 30s, you're probably getting ready to get married, maybe if that's one of your goals. You're going to be thinking about how to live a more purposeful life, how to feel a bit more fulfilled than you did in your 20s, how to make sure that your life counts and that what you're doing makes sense. You're not just playing around anymore. You're not just, I don't want to say enjoying life, but yeah, enjoying life but without a destination, if that makes sense. So in your 30s, you have to try and find a balance of some sort. It's very difficult because it's like imagining a scale. If you sit on this side is going to either go up or go down. And then you sit on this side is either going to go up or go down. And that is life for you in your 30s. Everything is going to be, you know, like a scale, like a pendulum. You're trying to balance out everything. And sometimes things will never really be like this because your family is a different weight from your nuclear family is a different weight from your extended family. Your extended family is a different way from your business. Your business is a different way from your friendships. Your friendships different way from maintaining your health. If you get what I mean. So that balance is something that I feel like we should all keep in mind if you are turning 30 or in your 30s or about to turn 30. Then I feel like that is something that you should keep. Okay. Another thing is, I'm just going through my notes so that I don't miss what I have to say. Okay, so just bear with me. Ignore me looking at my phone. Another thing is money. Money, financial independence in your 30s is very key. Because when you're in your 30s, you don't want to be relying on your parents. You don't want to be relying on You don't want to be a charity case. You don't want to be having to rely on anybody for funds. Of course, if you're married like I am, I like to be taken care of, like most women do. You know, I'm not about that hard life, strong woman. I'm a very soft woman. I want to be taken care of. I want to be pampered. However, I still want to be able to have a form of independence as well. You know, maybe it's because of how some of us have grown up, we've gone to school, we've gone to university. You feel like, what's the point of going to university if I'm just going to be a stay-at-home mom? So that's another story for another day. Yeah. However, I feel like financial independence is very key in your 30s. It's something that you should keep in mind. So if you're in your 20s at the moment and you're already financially independent, that is amazing for you. Keep going. I hope things pan out for you in your 30s. You know, keep doing what you're doing that is working for you as long as it is good. In your 30s, financial independence is so key. Like, it is really key. You want to start saving for emergency situations. You want to start saving for your wedding. You want to start saving for when you have a baby. You want to start saving for when there are occasions in your family that you need to show up for. You know, unfortunately, not a good thing, but it's part of life. Some of us, some people, unfortunately, lose loved ones in their 30s, and they have to be prepared for things like funeral arrangements. You know, those things that we don't really want to talk about or think of because we don't want them to happen. But at the end of the day, life happens when people lose people, and you don't want to feel like you're not capable when the unexpected happens, if that makes sense. So saving for emergency funds, things like that. Saving for when you retire, I guess, if you're into that. Saving for when you stop working, if you do stop working. If you're one of those people that want to stop working at a certain point, you want to start saving. So you can't keep spending money anyhow in your 30s. You have to have goals. You have to have things that you're saving towards, or investments that will hopefully give you good returns in your 30s. You're going to have children. You're going to have school fees to pay. You're going to have to pay for nursery. You're going to have to feed your send money to your parents depending on their situation, you know. And yeah, that is reality in your 30s. So if you're in your 20s, enjoy your life, but remember that you have to start preparing for the real adulthood in your 30s. Okay, start saving, start being financially independent, start preparing for unexpected things as much as you can within your capacity. So that is one thing to bear in mind. Another thing to bear in mind in your 30s is your health. I feel like in your 30s, things happen. Our bodies start to change. We have babies. Some of us have babies. Our hormones start to flare up. We gain weight. We lose weight. You get pregnant. You lose a tooth. You lose two. You lose 3 teeth. Yeah, all sorts of things start to happen in your 30s. And I feel like it's important to start preparing for that, or be prepared for that. Taking care of your health is paramount in your 30s. And making sure that you are getting your regular checkups, you are doing your cervical scanning, going for your cervical scan appointments to check that you're okay down there. There's no potential for any form of cancer down there. Now you're doing your dental checkups, you're checking your blood pressure, you are going for massages if you can afford them. Try and afford them. If you have the time for them, or you don't have the time for them, you have to make the time for them. Yeah, I just feel like in your 30s, a lot happens. Like, things just, our bodies just do whatever they like. You know, unexpected things happen. For me, my 30s, my 20s, in fact, all my life really, I've never been one to visit the hospital regularly. I never really had, I mean, one or two occasions, okay, maybe a random rash here, viral rash there. And even when I had my daughter, I didn't even stay in the hospital for 24 hours. I was only there for like maybe 12 hours max. Max. 12 hours max. But then after that, hormones started to play up. Weight gain kicked in because of hormonal imbalance, thyroid kicking in, issues, feet swelling, you know, all sorts of things, dental, losing teeth, having to extract two teeth from my mouth, gum issues, you know, all sorts of things. This started to happen. And I just felt like, wow, my life was pretty good before now. I'm not complaining, but I just feel like in your 30s, your health, taking care of your health is so important because things start to happen for us as women, especially. Stress, the key factor when it comes to hormones playing up as well. So you want to make sure that you're not as stressed because of everything else that is happening around you as well. Okay, so taking care of your health, making sure that you're okay, doing the best you can to take care of yourself in your 30s is so important. All right, so let's keep that in mind. Those of us in our 30s, if you're going into your 30s and you're going to be 30 in a few days, okay. Now another one is, well, yeah, I kind of talked about self-care or health already, but I guess more self-care. And self-care not in the sense of being self-centered, which is another thing I want to talk about in another video. Not in the sense of being self-centered, but in the sense of caring for yourself. So taking a break, as I always talk about on this channel, you're going on a short trip, taking some time to just zone out from work and just chill, sleep, eat good food, relax, watch TV. And I don't mean watch the news, I mean watch a show, watch a movie, things that will just take you out of reality for a little bit. Okay, those things are important in your 30s because you can't let life get in the way of your life's journey. You know, you can't let life determine what and how you would do things, if that makes sense. So self-care is so important in your 30s. If you're starting in your 20s, even better for you. That way in your 30s, it doesn't feel like it's a new habit you're trying to cultivate. Because growing up from an African background, most of us don't really take time out for ourselves. Our mothers never really took time out for themselves because they're always so busy. The children, they're working, you know, there's family, there's this, there's that. They're juggling so many things. They're cooking in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, cooking, cleaning, doing everything. They never really had time to pause. Even on the weekends, they were always busy. Most of them don't even have friends because they literally, their lives are literally hovered around their children, their family. And that is something that our generation needs to improve on. You know, don't make your life about everybody else. Make it also about you. You know, take time for you so that you can also show up for your family. Okay, so self-care is very important in your 30s. Okay, another one is friendships. You know, friendships, building good friendships in your 30s, I think is key as well. Not friendships that are fake, not friendships that you're in because of what you stand to gain from them, but friendships that you know that would help you be a better person, friendships that will give you the motivation that you need to be a better version of yourself, friends that will help you pick yourself up when you're down, and you can pick up when they're down as well. Friendships that will nourish your spirit, your soul, your mind, your brain, your thinking, your mindset. These are the kind of friendships I feel like we need to invest in our 30s. So if you're in your 30s and you don't really have those type of friendships, then it's time to start thinking of how to find those friends, the sort of friendships. If it's somebody that you see on social media, for example, and you just feel like, well, I feel like this person would make a great friend. I mean, you never know. They might like you too. They might have a connection with you eventually. So it doesn't hurt to reach out to somebody if you feel like um, they will make a good friend for you. Of course, you can pray about it as well, because you also want to make sure that they're also in alignment with what God has in store for you. You don't want friends that will lead you astray, friends that will destroy your life, your home, that will lead you into things that you don't want to get into in your 30s, in your life in general. So building great friendships is so key in your 30s. There's two more I'm going to touch on. Taking risks in your 30s. When I turned 30, or in my 30s now, I feel like I am not scared to take risks anymore. I don't know if it has to do with having a child, or if it just has to do with aging, getting older, if that makes sense. But in your 30s, you find that you want to try new things, you want to start something, be willing to take risks, because you just never know. Sometimes you hear of people that are now popular and who were not popular or who were not successful until later in life, like in their 50s, in their 60s even. But because we knew them as kind of looking the same up until now, since while we were growing up, you always felt like, oh, they've been popular since they were very young. But that is not true. Some of them were popular from an older age. So many people that did not get their big breaks until much later in life, but it felt like they were already popular, if that makes sense. But they took risk, but it took a while for the risk to give them return on investment. So we need to take risk. If the risk is you just want to risk it all, you want to relocate to Dubai, for example, do it if you can afford to do it. If your life is very organized enough for you to be able to do that, if you have the capacity to do it, do it. Okay, don't take a risk if you don't have a backup plan of some sort. Okay, so we need to take risks in your 30s, and don't forget that somebody else's timeline is different from your timeline. So don't compare your journey with another person's journey. If you're turning 36, 37 and you haven't had a baby and you're trying to have a baby, don't be scared, and don't let anybody tell you that you're too old to have a baby. You can have a baby. It's not the end of the world. After all, in the Bible, what age did Sarah have a baby? So it's not impossible. So take those risks as long as they make sense to do, and pray about them as well. So prayer is also something that is very key. In your 30s, you don't want to be living life without God. You need Him in your life in your 30s. In fact, all your life. But in your 30s, I feel like you will hit a wall. You get to that point where you can't do it all by yourself. You need God's help, God's guidance, God's direction as you go through life and go through different phases and stages of your life. Okay, so that's another key thing. And one last thing is being grateful. In your 30s, be grateful, appreciate your little wins, appreciate your little successes, be grateful for what you have in your 30s, be grateful for how far you've come, be grateful for the roof you have over your head, the fact that you're able to pay your bills, you're able to pay your rent, you're able to pay your council tax, you're able to feed your family. If you have children, you're able to pay their school fees. You're able to do the things that you are doing. Appreciate yourself. Buy yourself a gift. Thank God for yourself. Thank God for you. Be grateful and just show gratitude once in a while. Spoil yourself. Take yourself out in your 30s. You know, go shopping, buy yourself something nice. You know, it doesn't hurt. It will only make you feel good and even give you more boost to do more for yourself and to keep going, basically. So that is my take on the things that every lady needs to know in your 30s. If you have any lessons if you would like to add to this, please leave it in the comment section below. I hope this was helpful. I hope this is relatable. This is my own take on, you know, my life lessons in my 30s. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment below. Please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed watching, subscribe if you'd like to see more of me, and share this video with somebody that you think will find this interesting and useful. Yes, thank you so much for watching. Until my next video, please take care of yourself and be good. Bye.